Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this Saturday evening live session where today we are going to cover a case study. The objective of discussing case studies are to get the confidence about the project, how the practical implementation happens. Okay, so this case study basically is done by, just a second, somebody, yeah, done by one of our one of the Hmm? Hello, hello. Yeah. So this was done by one of our student. So the name of the company, etc., are masked, but the main objective is to make sure that you get, how systematically, sequentially, step by step, the projects are done through this DMAC framework successfully. Okay. So let me share my screen right now. I will share this presentation document as well in the masterclass archive so that you can download it and check that out. Okay. Mm, just a second. Okay. Okay. So here we go. Here is the presentation. Okay. So is my voice loud and clear and is my presentation visible to you? Just give me confirmation yes in the chat so that I can. Okay, fantastic. Good, 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 good. Super. All right. And as I always say that our consulting model is based on, uh, you know, based on the secret partnership. It's an open secret partnership, which is the partnership between domain and the DMAC. As I always say that as a Lean Six Sigma practitioner, we can absolutely go to literally any industry. Okay. This particular case study is from the insurance industry. Okay. And literally, of course, the student who had conducted this project was from the insurance industry. But even if you are not from the industry, also you can do projects successfully as well through this partnership called domain and the DMAC. Domain meaning the industry knowledge, and the DMAC meaning the Lean Six Sigma knowledge. Okay, so it's a partnership between the industry specific knowledge and the Lean Six Sigma specific knowledge. See, without domain knowledge, we will not be in a position to solve the problem because it's a combination. You have to have the process knowledge. You have to have, the main industry domain knowledge. Otherwise, it will not be successful execution of the project. Remember this, okay? So it's always have to be a partnership between domain and DMAC, okay? Everybody's clear about the domain and DMAC? Just give me yes in the chat box because it's like this. Whenever we go to any industry, we should basically pick up the people from the process who are the process owners, and we bring our DMAC expertise, which is a Lean Six Sigma expertise on the table, so that we can work together as a unit to solve the problem. Okay. And this is called a partnership of domain and DMAC. All right. Now, this case study particularly is from the insurance sector. Now, insurance sector meaning insurance outsourcing sector. This case study was. So we call it as IOB, insurance on a behalf of. Okay. So there is one Australian healthcare IOB. IOB meaning insurance on behalf of. So it's like, see, India has been last couple of decades has been a outsourcing hub because we have a qualified workforce with us and available at relatively cheaper rate than the Western countries. That's the reason, India is a favorite destination for a lot of organizations for outsourcing their work. So that's why we have got a lot of, our even IT and even insurance on behalf of, as well as, the entire BPO industry. All these things are basically because of the outsourcing done. Okay. So in this particular case, the accuracy was under question. Accuracy was not up to the mark, and they had taken up the project. And our student, our SNG student, was working in this company as a manager, and they had taken this project. Okay. So we have masked the name of the company, etc., and other few details. Some of the details have been given, but that will not reveal any kind of confidential information of the organization. Now, this is why I'm showing you this, because whenever you also go for an interview for Lean Six Sigma, etc., you should carry certain documents like this without revealing much of the details of the company and confidential information. Because see, if you mask the details of the confidential, information, it shows first your integrity about your old company. Second, that you are absolutely committed for the confidentiality. Okay. If you show certain details, then that gives them the feeling that you can share the details of their company to someone else as well. Okay. So better not to give, even if you are asked to reveal, you should politely reject the request, and it should never compromise with the confidentiality of the client. Okay. And some of you are going forward for consulting project, consulting launch program. So always remember this. Okay. You will never get in any of my presentation the name of the client and the confidential information. Okay. So this is how you also be ethical in your case. Now, let's begin with the define phase. So let's define what was the problem exactly faced by this company. So define phase, we have project charter. So I just broken that project charter into the main parts like business case, problem, and goal statement, etc. Okay. So let me just use my marker here. All right. So this particular case was about the accuracy improvement of IOB. IOB meaning insurance on behalf. It's a simple documentation of the insurance outsourcing process. Okay. So it is critical for the financial health of the organization as well as for the satisfaction of the customer. Okay. So currently the accuracy rate of the IOB process was 97.46. This was the accuracy, that outsourced company was delivering, which falls short of the target of 99%. This was SLA. Service level agreement was 99%, but they were very much short of it. They were just providing 97.46% of accuracy. And these errors can also result in financial losses for the organization as well as potential legal and regulatory risks. So it was not only financial losses, but it could be much bigger than that. It was regulatory risk and the legal risk also involved. So this project will focus on improving the accuracy of IOB process to meet our target, which will help to reduce errors and improve customer satisfaction and increase the revenue. So business case basically is written just to justify the project. Why this project is so important for the business? Why this project is so important for the customer? As far as the financial impact is concerned, as far as the brand image of the company is concerned, as far as the market share is concerned, or as far as some legal or regulatory risk are concerned. So these are all business level risk or business level points which we need to highlight in the business case. It is like you are asking for the resources and support from the management, how you will convince management about the project, that this project we have to take in the highest priority. Okay, so business case meaning why this project is important, what will happen if we don't do this now, what will be the consequences. Okay, so that you should highlight in the in this paragraph or 2 to 3 statement of business case. Okay, which is very important part of project charter. Okay, so business case is showing that 97.46% of accuracy and falling short of the target is 99%. Okay. Then comes the problem statement, and we have made a very straightforward approach of problem statement, like data collected from Jan 2000 and to December 2000 and shows that the current IOB, insurance on behalf process, has accuracy rate of 97.46%, which results in error in billing and payment. So these errors lead to delay in the payment, incorrect billing, and reduced customer satisfaction. So this is the problem statement from the data. Generally, how much data should we collect for when we start the project of Lean Six Sigma? Just type in the chat box. I mentioned this multiple times. I want this to go in your subconscious. Minimum data duration we should consider is very good. Type 1 year. Okay. 1 year minimum. Okay. If you have more than 1 year data, that's always better. But at least you should have 1 year data, because that encompasses all the seasonal trends and patterns of that particular year. Okay. So remember, at least 1 year data should be sufficient for us to, that's why they have given January to December. You can take April to March as a financial year as well. Now, the Western countries follow Jan to December cycle. We follow April to March cycle. It depends on which one is, but at least 12 months. It's not like, you should follow only financial cycle, not necessary, but at least you should consider 1 year data, which should encompass all the, do not justify or do not define your project only on the basis of 1 month, 2 month, 3 months data, because that may not give us the right picture. All right. So there's a problem statement, and you can follow the same structure. Data collected from Jan to December, this shows that, and whatever is the number, and what is the impact of that quickly. Okay. Followed by the goal statement. Make it very simple that the goal of this project is to improve the accuracy rate of IOB process from 97.46% to 99% by June. Okay, so they have taken some 6 months duration for this, because there were a lot of departments involved into this, and the complexity of the project is very high. So they've taken that much of time, and we all know that a lot of us work on the project part-time basis. Okay, so along with our routine roles, routine jobs, and things, we basically work on the projects, right? So green belts, black belts, most of the times are part-time project leaders, and they're not full-times. Full-times meaning you are only working on the project. There is no other responsibility on your shoulder. Only delivering the result of the project is your responsibility. But in most of the cases, it is not the case. So that's the reason it takes more time to solve the problem. Sometimes we can expedite. We have developed something called rapid DMAC models as well, which also can be very effective in some cases. But in this case, they have taken this much of time. Okay. Now, the scope of the project is which will be the area you should basically target, which process you should target for improving this project. So the project will focus on the IOB process, basically, for Australian healthcare services that are outsourced to India. Okay, the scope of the project will include the following processes. So they have clearly defined the processes which are involved. The first process is claim submission and processing. The second one is eligibility verification and validation. Third one is payment processing and reconciliation. And the fourth one is customer service and support. So these are the 4 process steps, major process steps of this. And this was the scope of the project. Why it is very important to define the scope? Because then the management is clear where should be our focus. The project team is clear about their project focus. Plus, once the scope is clear, then identifying the stakeholder becomes very, very easy. Who are the stakeholders? Stakeholders meaning the people or the departments who are impacting or getting impacted because of the project. Those are called stakeholders. So the people or departments who are involved in these 4 steps, okay, will all be the stakeholders of this project. Clear, everybody? Scope is clear. Just give me yes in the chat box. Yahan tak everybody with me? So it's an insurance outsourcing project. The accuracy is 97.4. They want to bring it to 99%, and that's the project. So they have collected 1 year data. They have defined their problem. Okay. So we are into the project charters phase. Okay. Very, very super. Just a second. All right. Now, then they have made SIPOC. What is SIPOC? SIPOC is a very broad level process map which defines all the 4 steps of the process, which were claim submission, then eligibility verification and validation, then payment processing and reconciliation, and then customer service and support. These are the 4 steps we saw in the last slide, which is the scope. And then for this particular process step, what are the inputs? For example, for the claim submission, the patient information and the insurance plan details. These are the inputs to basically processing the claim submission. Okay. So output of this process is the claim submission form, and which goes in the healthcare provider. So healthcare provider is a company basically who is the internal customer of this process step. Who are the input providers? Patient information will be provided by the patient, then the agent, and the healthcare provider. Okay. So these are the suppliers of the input. Similarly goes the second process, eligibility verification. What is the input? Who provides the input? What is the output? And the output goes to whom? And then the entire SIPOC is created. In the SIPOC, what we get is, first of all, there are 3-4 objectives basically we fulfill. 1, the scope of the project. Second, all the inputs. For example, if you see all the x's, which are, you know, right? Y is equal to function of x, correct? The equation y is equal to function of x, which is the output is depending on the inputs, right? So our output, which is the accuracy, is depending on all these inputs. Okay, if you really do this process properly, perfectly, then you will get all these x's, which are inputs variables, in this column called inputs. Okay, plus in this column number 1 called supplier and the column number 5 called customer, you will get all the stakeholders which are important for the project, from where we can basically select our representatives, our stakeholders. Okay. And this is called SIPOC, which is supplier input, process output, and customer. This is a very important part of our define phase. Okay. Yeah, everybody, the people who have been through the green belt content of define phase, you would have seen the SIPOC explained there as well. Yeah. Everybody, SIPOC clear hai? Just give me yes in the chat box. So see, we are not entering into the tools, each and every tools in details here. The objective of this is how the project is conducted step by step. Okay. This is just a format so that, you know, once you see 3-4 projects like this, that will give you confidence, clarity, how these steps are followed. And then you will realize that, okay, these are the common tools which are used, like project charter and SIPOC and stakeholder analysis and communication plan, and, you know, cause and effect, fishbone and viva analysis, Scamper. These are very, you know, the hypothesis, regression. These are common tools which are used. Once you see them regularly, then, you know, that will give you the confidence that, okay, these are the steps I have to follow, and I can also solve the problem. Okay. So once the SIPOC is done, then the stakeholder analysis. Now, of course, stakeholder analysis, they have done it differently, but we have our standard format of stakeholder analysis. Basically, this is a fantastic tool to check the engagement level of the stakeholders in the project. Okay, whether those people are engaged, whether those people are supporting the project positively or not. This is something this stakeholder analysis tool basically is made for. Okay, because it's a team effort, and without team, it's very difficult to drive the project. Okay. And in the middle of the project, if the team is not supporting you, there is no tool available otherwise to basically highlight the challenge. Okay. So stakeholder analysis is a tool. Basically, as a project leader, you should make the stakeholder analysis, but um, whether to display to the management, whether to escalate or highlight to the management or not, that is entirely your call. If the project is running smoothly, then no need to highlight the stakeholder analysis. If something is not moving, some people are not supporting, or some departments are not supporting, then stakeholder analysis can be highlighted to the management so that management can take the due course correction if required. Okay. Some people who are not on the onboarded properly, or they are not supporting the project, they can be eliminated from the project, and some other people can replace them. Okay, those kinds of things also can happen in the stakeholder analysis. RACI metrics. Yes, so this is a RACI metric. That's what. So RACI basically meaning whatever the steps or the actions of the process, the bigger action steps, we basically define who is responsible, who is accountable, who is consultant, who is informed. Okay. So, for example, let me give you example of responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. All right. Now, responsible. Let's say in the cricket match. Responsible meaning the batsmen are responsible to make runs. Bowlers are responsible to take wickets and contain the runs or restrict the runs. The fielders are responsible to, again, restrict the runs for flowing. So these are responsibilities. Okay. But who is accountable for that? The captain of the team and the coach, of course, they are accountable for the result. Okay. So responsible are the doers. Accountability meaning the entire responsibility, entire answerability is accountability, basically, right? So in the project, there are few responsible people and there are few accountable. For example, let's take another example. In a process, let's say there is one person who is running the machine, who is responsible for the production, who is responsible for the quality, etc. But the manager or the supervisor of that machine is accountable for the productions and accountable for the quality. Okay. So this is called responsibility and accountability. Then comes consulted and informed. Now let me ask you a simple question. Okay. In the project, there is a master black belt. Okay. Imagine, let's say I'm your master black belt. I'm your mentor of Lean Six Sigma. And let's say there is somebody called champion. Now, who is champion? Champion is a person from the top management who is basically accountable to support the project. Okay. He most probably he's the head of the department of the process. Okay. So let me ask you a question. Now you in the project, you are doing hypothesis testing. Okay. And there is let's say you are using chi-square test, which is one of the hypothesis testing we use, advanced hypothesis testing, and you got stuck there. Okay. So who do you consult? Do you consult to MBB or do you consult to champion? Champion is a person from the top management, head of the department, domain expert. So who do you consult? Type in the chat box. You are stuck in the hypothesis testing chi-square test. Who do you consult? Type in the chat box. Everybody, I want this clarity should be there. Should you go to MBB or should you go to champion? Everybody, type in the chat box. Hope you have understood the question. Okay, MBB. So all of you are saying MBB. Very good. Now, second example. In the project, there is a small automation which is required to be done, and some capital expenditure is required. Now, who do you consult to? Do you go to master black belt or do you go to the head of the department? or champion? Type in chat box. Exactly. Very good. So, are you clear? So, whenever, if it is, remember domain and DMAC, if it is a domain related query, go to champion. If it is a DMAC related query, go to master black belt. Very simple. Clear? So this way you can define whose roles and responsibilities are there, who is to be consulted and who is to be informed. Informed meaning the people who need to be informed about the progress, about the result, about the impact, etc. are called informed. Okay. Let me give you a sample of that. For example, okay. So they have defined, let's say, defining the project scope and goal. Who is responsible? Project team is responsible. Who is accountable? Management is accountable. Who should be consulted? Quality assurance team has to be consulted in this part. And regulators to be informed that we are doing this kind of a project and to improve the accuracy numbers. Okay. So regulators are, in this particular case, they have informed the regulators. Okay. Then analyze current IOB process and identify areas of improvement. Responsibility lies with project team. Accountability lies with quality assurance team. The claim processing team is healthcare providers, and then management regulators. Now, regulator meaning, for example, in the stock market, who is the regulators? Regulator is SEBI. Okay. When it comes to stock market issue, there is an authority body, a governing body of this processes. Okay. So for stock market, SEBI is a regulator. For any banking and banking related, any bank related queries are there or challenges are there, then RBI is a regulator, the main regulator body. Okay. Yes, exactly. Who sets the rules and regulation, who makes sure that regulations are followed properly. Okay. And they can take the strict action as well. They have the authority to take the action. In insurance, I think it is IRDA, which is one of the regulator body. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. India is concerned. Okay, because it is Australian process, so their regulators would be a part of it. Okay, clear? Very good, very good. Now, engineering example, for automotive, AIAG can be a regulator, or for pharmaceuticals, if you see, then FDA is a regulator. So this way, different regulators are there for, for the various industries. Okay. Yeah. So this is called RACI metrics: responsibility, accountability, consulted, and then this is called communication plan. Yeah, DGCA for aviation. Perfect. Fantastic. So these are called regulator authorities. Okay. Now then communication plan. Communication plan meaning during the project, how the stakeholders of the project will communicate with each other. What will be the channel of communication? What will be the frequency of communication? Who will be the owner of the communication? Who will be the receiver of the communication? All these things are called as communication plan. So we all have given the templates for you to basically check. In your green belt as well as black belt, there are some and PowerPoint templates for you, so that you can download those templates and just follow those step-by-step processes, so that you can also do. So this is what happens in the define phase. So we have done project charter, we have done communication plan, stakeholder analysis, and we have done RACI metrics. All these things happen in the define phase. Then we move to the measure phase, where we collect the data about what is the objective of data collection, who will collect the data, what should be the frequency of data collection, where that data should be stored. About data collection should be made standardized, so that all the people involved should be on the same page. Okay, let's say collecting data in the first, collecting the data in the night shift, both should be on the same page, so that there should not be any variation collecting the data. Okay, Then once the data happens, then we do the data screening. Data screening meaning putting the data in the Minitab or similar kind of software and extracting information out of it. For example, this is the Pareto chart, which is showing that remit created with incorrect information. That was the biggest contribution, almost more than 30%, 33%, something like that, is contributed because of incorrect remit creation. Some wrong information being fed. The second one is incorrect information updated in AR optimizer application. Of course, these are their internal terminology, which we may not be aware of, right? So ultimately, these are the four biggest contribution from this Pareto analysis. Remit created with incorrect information, 33.5%. Incorrect information updated in AR optimizer is 10%. Missed and updated incorrect unresolved reason is 4%. And incorrect information updated in notes is 3.5. These are the top contributors as far as the Pareto is concerned. Okay. Then they have done a process capability analysis. Now, process capability analysis, in this case, the accuracy percentage is 97.46, which we have seen in the defined phase. Desired accuracy is 99%. So what they have calculated is the defect rate. Okay, defect rate is 100% minus current accuracy, which is 97.46%. So the defect rate is 2.54%. So how we can do that? So 2.54%. So yeah. So 2.54% is equal to 2.54 divided by 100, right? So if we convert that into 1 million, which is 10 lakhs, we will get the DPMO number. Okay. Can you just calculate the DPMO? Yeah. Can you just do this calculation and give me the answer? So that we can 25 lakhs 40,000 है क्या? No. It must be 25,000 कुछ तो होगा. एक बार चेक करिए. 2.54 divided by 100 into 10 lakhs, which is 1 million. So this is, good, very good. So which is 25,400. So this becomes defect per million. See, basically what we have done, it's very simple. We have converted percent into per million. That's it. Per 100 को per million में convert किया. That's it. Nothing we have done. Okay. So DPMO is 25,400. So we can go back to the DPMO calculation. Okay, let me show you this one. Yeah, this is the standard table of DPMO. So if you see, okay, let me just, yeah. So if you see the DPMO table, it is around this 25,400, right? So it is between 22,700 and 28,700, right? So it is exactly in between. So must be around 3.45. Okay. So this must be around 3.45. So this is 3.45 sigma process. Okay. So this way you can calculate your process capability analysis. All right. So you calculate DPMO. How did we calculate DPMO? So 2.54% was the defect rate because our, I just repeat the process once again. Just observe very carefully. You can see here 97.46 was the accuracy rate. So 100 minus 97.46 is equal to 2.54. So this is the defect rate in the percentage. Okay. If we convert into per million, it becomes 25,400. Okay. So per 100, it is 2.54. So per million, it will be 25,400. So then we come to the DPMO conversion table and check what is the nearest number here. So which seems to be a center of this 22,700 22,700 and 28,700, which is approximately 3.45 sigma. Clear? This is the current. No, this is the in the major phase, we haven't done any kind of improvement, right? Desired is 99%. That's right. That's the target we want to achieve. But with the current defect rate, okay. So the yield is 97.54. Okay. So what is outside of the yield is the defect rate, right? So from the defect rate, we have calculated DPM. Clear? See, 100%, even client has not given them the target because 100% may not be possible, right? But as far as the defect rate is concerned, yes, 2.54 is a defect percentage. Clear? Now, there is a formula also you can use, which is, you can use this formula. Just make a note of this. If you have Excel, you can just type this formula. Norms inverse of yield plus 1.5. You can just use this formula. Yield matlab, what is yield in this case? 97 point, what is that? 46, no? 46, correct. Okay, 97.46. So if you want to convert it, this is in percentage, right? So better you convert into 0.9746. So you can just put it in the formula. I'll also put it. Let me just let me go to one Excel sheet here. This is a formula you can also use. Let me just increase this a little so that you guys can see this. So is equal to norms inverse in bracket. Yield is what? 0.9746. Okay, which is 97.46 was the yield, right? Plus 1.5. This 1.5 is the sigma shift. Okay, that let's put that. So this is 3.45. Yes. You can see this is the formula. So formula is this. So this is 3.45 sigma process. This way also you can find out from a DPMO or from a yield, you can convert it into a sigma level. Clear? ये formula लिख लीजिए, norms inverse in bracket yield bracket complete plus 1.5. Just give me yes in the chat box. This is just for your information. Just give me yes. So whatever is the yield, you can just put it in the formula. This is the current sigma process status. So currently this is 3.45 sigma process. Okay. एक बार मैं फिर से रिपीट करता हूं. Just listen to me very carefully. Okay, just try to understand this. So what is yield? Try to understand this. If this is a process and this is LSL and this is USL, whatever is in between is called yield. Whatever is outside is called rejection or defect, right? Everybody understand this? Just give me a in the chat box. Yield is what is the accuracy, the accurate product. Whatever is outside the specification is a defect. Yes, everybody understood this? Correct? So in this case, the yield is 97.46. And what was the defect rate? 2.54%. Yes? 97 is the yield. That means within the specification, accurate, customer has accepted it. And 2.54 is not accurate, which is outside of the specification. Clear? Now this 97.46 percentage can also be called as 0.9746. Correct or no? Yes? Everybody? Correct? So 97.46 divided by 100. 97.46 divided by 100. If I do this, I will get 0.9746. Yes? So what is the formula to calculate the sigma level? The formula is norms inverse in bracket yield bracket complete plus 1.5. This is a formula. What is this 1.5? This 1.5 is called as the sigma shift. In simple word, just try to understand this. If short term sigma, short term, just for your understanding, let's not get confused about it. If the short term sigma is 4 sigma process, then the long term sigma would be 2.5 sigma process. Okay. Now, if the short term sigma is 5 sigma process, then in the long term, it will be 3.5 sigma process, because in long term, we have longer variations. Okay, that is just for your information. That's why this 1.5 has been added. Okay, so the formula is norms inverse in bracket yield. So let's put the formula. You can just open your Excel and put the formula. Yield is what? 0.9746 bracket complete plus 1.5. If you put this in the formula, you will get something like 3.45, something like that. So this is 3.45 sigma process. Correct. 3.45 is the current process capability. Clear, everybody? Like we call it a 4 sigma process, 6 sigma process, 5 sigma process. Similarly, this process is 3.45 sigma process. Clear? All right. So with the yield, you can calculate your sigma process like this, sigma number like this. This is another way you can also do this. Okay. Sure. Then once we calculate this, then we go to analyze phase. In analyze phase, we find out the causes and the 1.5 is a constant value. Okay, so statisticians believe that if short-term process capability is, let's say 5 sigma, long-term it will be 3.5. Okay, so 1.5 कम हो जाता है इसका. Okay, if short-term process capability is 4.5 sigma, then long-term process capability will be 3 sigma. All right, this is how basically they infer out of it. So analyze phase, where we do the fishbone analysis, man, machine, method, measurement, material, mother nature, everything. Okay, these are called the primary causes. Then they did the root cause, which is YY analysis. Okay, so fishbone and root cause analysis are the important ingredient of this. Once the root cause analysis is done, then those people validated the root causes. So one example has been given. So see, in this presentation, we have not included all the analysis. Okay, just some representative analysis, because when we present this presentation in front of management may not have 1 hour presentation timing, or because they have multiple projects for the presentation. So you have to basically showcase what is the most important highlight of the project. Okay, so regression is something like you want to establish relationship between the X and the Y. Y is the output and X is the input variable. Okay, so here what they have done as far as the regression is concerned, Suppose we want to determine if there is a relationship between the number of training hours provided by the to the employees, okay, IOB employees, and their accuracy rate. So according to their experience, the number of training hours can play a very crucial part for on the accuracy. Okay, so according to them, more the training, more will be the accuracy. That was their perception. Okay, so they have collected 20 employees, the training hours data as well as their accuracy data, and the data looks like this. Okay, so these are the employees and the training hours and their accuracy data, and now they just put that data into the something called regression analysis. All right, now here this is called a regression analysis. And just check out this R square value. Okay, this value. In this value is, for example, if it is between 0 to maybe 33%, okay, it is a very low relationship. Strength of the relationship of X and Y is very low. If it is around 33 to 66%, then it is called as a moderate. So in this case, it comes into the moderate relationship category because it is almost 37%. Okay. And above 66%, it is very strong correlation. All right. So in this case, it shows a moderate relationship between the training hours and accuracy. So we can consider training hours is one of the very important factor as far as the accuracy is concerned. All right. So they should focus going ahead. They should focus on the more training hours, more precise training hours, more maybe effective trainings given to the employees. Okay. This is called regression analysis. Yeah. So of course, we are not covering the tools in the detail. I'm just going through the flow of the project. Once this is done, once the root causes are identified, then yeah, this document I will share with you, this entire presentation. I will share in the masterclass archive. You can download this. Okay. As I mentioned, because of the confidentiality, we are not disclosing much of the details of this. This was done by one of our students. Okay. Then the scamper. Scamper is done in the improve phase, if you remember, just to identify the solutions on your root causes which are validated. Okay. So this was done. They have identified certain solutions on their problem, and then they made an implementation action plan. Okay. In implementation action plan, they identify what action has to be taken, who is responsible for this, what will be the timeline, what resources are needed, and what is the status. Is it started, in progress, completed, not started? What exactly is the status? That can be basically shown. So this is called implementation action plan. So once it is done, yeah, I'll come to that. So once it is done, then in the control phase, they put a control plan in place. Control plan meaning they put a system in place which will basically monitor this entire IOB accuracy percentage process. Okay. So verification of the patient information, what is the control mechanism, automated system validation, frequency should be 100% of the claims, responsibility, control responsibility, system through that will become controlled. Control measure is accuracy rate of system validation, and then if any kind of deviation found, and what kind of corrective action will be taken. Okay. So this way they will put all the control measures in the control plan so that all the critical factors, critical X's will be put in the scanner. Okay. And this is the stage by stage improvement. So this was the first stage was before the project was taken. This was before the project. This is 1 year, or we call it as a baseline data. Okay. And this was the average accuracy percentage. So during the project, you can see some kind of improvement and then got stabilized. And after improvement, they monitored it for almost 6 months and they found it to be improved around 99.183%. So from 97 point something, it was improved to 99.18%, which was a clear-cut indication of improvement. Okay. Now, these kinds of stage control charts also can be made. I can show you example of it. I'll just give you example of it. Okay. Result are like this. So IOB accuracy improved from 97.46 to 99%. DPMO decreased from 24,000. We have calculated the 25,400 to 60. And process cycle time decreased from 3 days to 2 days. CSAT, which is Customer Satisfaction Index, increased from 85% to 90%, and the financial impact was estimated around 1 million in one financial year. Okay, so these were advantages. These were results which was brought in by this project. Of course, some numbers are cooked up, rounded off, just to mask the real numbers for the project, but just to give us the test, the flavor of how the projects are basically done. Okay, super clear, everybody. Just give me yes in the chat box. Let me just check if I have clear hand. Super. So they calculated DPMO later on, which was found to be 60. It is quite possible, na? DPMO 60 आता है कभी कभी. MBB assessment के लिए प्रमोद जी, there is no hackathon for MBB as such, because green belt, black belt hackathon itself covers a lot of grounds. Master black belt is not tool based approach. It is the conceptual, more kind of conceptual things. So hackathon may not encompass those. In green belt and black belt, generally we cover the tools, right? Like for example, we cover hypothesis testing, regression, the design of experiments, all these tools we cover in hackathons. But in MBB, these are conceptual things. These are, the team building, the strategic alignment, and all those stuff. So that's why the the hackathon is not there, but the assessment is absolutely similar to the green belt and the black belt. It's a 3 hours. You need to submit the projects first of all. Okay, virtual projects or real projects, whichever way you feel like. And then for the assessment, there is a 3 hours, a little tough examination for the master black belt. 70% is the passing marks. There are 150 questions you need to clear. Okay. Yeah, for black belt, it remains exactly similar to the green belt. Green belt hackathon will start in the first week of September, which is the very next week. Okay, and you will get the intimation about it. Most probably, I'll just open my calendar. Most probably, it will start on 2nd or 3rd of September. Okay, so we'll let you know. Either it will be 2nd of September or 3rd of September. Okay, 2nd or 3rd. In between these 2 days. Okay, Monday we'll have the live session. All right. Either 2nd or 3rd, we will have the green belt certification hackathon, which will start. Okay. And super. I have completed my defined phase. Can I start the project activity? Yes, absolutely. Yes, we can start the project activities parallelly as well. And as you go from the green belt, the defined phase, measure phase, analyze phase, etc. And hackathon is also there. You can attend the hackathon as well. And because see, project activities take time, right? So better you start earlier, better you can complete. Because see, studies you can complete in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Project can take a little bit more time. So better to start the project earlier. Okay, that's always recommended. What else? Super. So any question which is unanswered, please let. Only statistical tool that can be used in this case. No. This was uh, just for your information. There are multiple tools which were used, but as I mentioned to you, we may not showcase all the tools because management may not have that much of time to go through each and every analysis. Okay. And when we do the analysis, some of the analysis may not give the result which we are expecting. Okay. So that thing which, which are not giving us the result, we don't show them in the presentation. All right. So very few, fishbone was shown, like Pareto was shown, like regression was shown. So like control charts were shown. So there are few tools only that were covered. But of course, for a black belt level project, you can add more tools, more graphical analysis as well. Okay. Definitely. It depends again on project to project basis. But again, it depends on how much time your management have to review. That is also very, very important. If they have only, sometimes you have only 10 minutes to present your project. So you cannot show them each and every analysis, each and every tool. Okay. Yeah. And can you suggest which archive video to use for starting the project? Okay. First of all, it's not archive video. I would suggest you can download the project templates. Okay, if it is there, let me show you that. Okay, just give me a second. So in the green belt curriculum or the black belt curriculum, we have the project templates. Okay, so you can download those templates. There are Excel templates for the project workout, and then you have the PowerPoint presentation template just for your reference while presenting it to the management. Okay. Let me quickly share my screen if I can. Yeah, so when it comes to the green belt, okay. So if you scroll down in the green belt, that is there in the black belt as well. But so at the end of this, you can see here the final at the end, very fag end of this, you have the phase wise project management template. So just check out this 1 minute video and then define phase Excel template, measure phase Excel template, and the presentation template. Okay. So you can just download, click on the start, and you can download these templates and start working on the project. Okay. Uh, I'll answer that question. Okay. Any plan for Lean Six Sigma Black Belt certification hackathon in September? So we had the Black Belt hackathon in the August itself. Okay, this month itself we had August. So see what happens is earlier we used to conduct both hackathons in the month, but then because of the number of people reduced, okay, then we have started doing it alternate months. So 1 month is green belt, another month is black belt. But if you don't want to wait for the next month to come, you can always check the recording. Okay, I'll show you. You can see here, there is always the hackathon recording. You can see green belt hackathon recording is provided. Okay, so you can just go through the recording anytime. Same goes in the black belt hackathon. That is also there available. Okay, so if you don't want to wait for another month to happen, you can just complete the hackathon, give the examination, and fast track yourself as well. Okay. Yeah. The question is, why did you choose SNG as the name? See, SNG stands for Sparren and Gavin. Sparren and Gavin basically are two German words, which means savings. Sparren meaning savings. Sparen. The authentic pronunciation is not Sparren. It is Spagen. In the authentic German, it is called Spagen, and it is not Gavin. It is Geffen. Geffen. Okay, so Geffen meaning the profits, and Sparren meaning the savings. So we have seen in the industry there are a lot of profits are being drained down the in the profit lane. So we have decided to plug some of the profit leakage points for the client. That's why we have chosen this name called Sparren and Gavin, which is SNG. Okay. Um, yeah, thank you very much. When will we exam? Okay, so green belt examination can be conducted. See, live sessions are the support mechanism. Try to understand this. Okay, you have the green belt, what you can say, curriculum given. Okay, just go through the curriculum first of all. Parallelly, you attend the live session, ask the question, clarify your doubts. Okay, and we have given you the mentor number, which is this, right? So you can always stay connected with the mentor, ask the questions anywhere you get stuck. Okay, any topic you're not understood or you are not able to connect with your own example or industry. Okay, just ask the question. The same thing you can do in the live session as well. Okay, but the main part is cover all the topics which are there in your green belt and later in the black belt. Okay, once that is done, then you can give the examination individually, or you can come to the hackathon, and at the end of the hackathon, you can give the examination. Okay. Yeah, these are the topics. As I mentioned to you earlier, if you are in the green belt level, so this is the green belt course curriculum. That's why we have divided this entire curriculum into 3 minute, 4 minutes, 5 minutes videos. Okay. So this is the content you need to go through. Okay. Once it is done, parallelly, you attend the live sessions. Whenever you get stuck in between Saturdays and Mondays, there is a mentor number provided. Okay. So all the support mechanism has been provided. Hackathons are there. There you can ask the questions. Okay. So then once you are ready, you are fully prepared. There is a sample questionnaire also. I'll show you that as well. If you scroll below, you can see a sample questionnaire. Okay. Below this, yeah, you can see here. Lean Six Sigma Green Belt sample questionnaire. Just before examination, you can just go through the sample questionnaire. It will give you the, how the exam questions can come. Okay. Just go through some of the questionnaire. If you get a confidence, then you can attempt the examination. Okay. And you can have the multiple attempts. It's not like only 1 or 2 attempts are there. Generally, people clear the examination in 1 attempt. Some of you might require second attempt, but you can easily clear at the most 2 attempts. Okay. Easily you can clear the examination. So don't take tension about examination. See, we have made it very easy for you to clear. Only thing is that your concept should be very much clear. Clear? Super, super, super. So tomorrow we have the we have our live session of Yellow Belt. You can refer your friends, family members, colleagues, etc., and get yourself referral bonus. Okay. And the second part is that we are sending emails, okay, for you to connect with the community of LMS system. All right. There's a link in the email. You can click on the link and join the community if you are not a part of the community. Okay. Because recently, because of the recent updates on the WhatsApp, we are not in a position to send the messages on the WhatsApp regularly. Okay. Because they have made it paid service now. Okay. So every message, every single message, they are charging 1 rupee. It is becoming very expensive for us just to send 1 reminder message for the live session. Okay. Instead of that, now we are sending you the emails and we are sending you the link in the community tab of the LMS. Okay. So just connect on the community tab and we will be able to, and you can see it's very simple. You can go to community tab. Our timings are fixed 7:30 p.m. on Sunday, or sorry, on Saturdays and on Mondays. Just click on the link and join the session. It's very simple. Okay. So no need to depend on the WhatsApp for the communication. All right. So that's it from my side. Keep learning, keep growing. This is Dinesh Patil signing off. Bye bye. Take care. Good night. We'll connect again on the Monday with the same enthusiasm. Bye bye. Take care. Good night.